Hey guys, Coach Ben here, bigbenchas.com. Today I'm going to show you how to make your heavy benches feel light. So what we're talking about today pertains to the unrack process of the bench press. This is a phase that often goes overlooked. We don't put enough attention to getting that bar out into position. It makes a huge difference in your performance of the lift. So this little tip here is about eliminating upwards force into the bar. That's right. Many think when you unrack that bar, you need to push up into it to get it out of the rack. But we actually do not want to do that. We want to try to eliminate as much upwards force as possible. We want all our force to be directed out and down. And I'm going to show you what that looks like right here. So when we're talking about eliminating upwards force, alright, this is trying to minimize as much of that force I need to put up into the bar as possible. So if you think of this as force vectors, right, I don't want to put any force up because my goal is to try to pull as much force down into that pad as possible. Alright, and if you look at it like this from the side, if I'm fully retracted and I'm putting pressure down, right, I'm trying to retract and doing that as strongly as possible, right, do that right now. If I put any upwards force, I'm allowing that retraction to come undone. So by me trying to push into anything, I'm allowing my shoulders to take more of that weight. Alright, I'm not in a fully retracted position, putting as much force down as possible, which is why we want to eliminate any upwards force. So unfortunately, when you do a self unrack, you do have to place some force up. And it really depends on how aggressive your hooks are in the rack. I have hooks here that are going to be easy for me to slide this bar out of the rack. Alright, so I don't have to worry about putting too much upwards force if I self unrack. But when you self unrack, you want to make sure you're trying to apply as much force out versus up. Alright, and I'll be able to do that here. You'll see me get tight to the bar and I'll just drag the bar out of the rack. Alright, get my grip. So very little upwards force. You hear that scraping noise of me dragging that bar out. And then all my force is going down into the pad again. So I'm not leaving myself up here, allowing that weight to load into my shoulders. I want to be the wedge between that bar and the pad. So that bar is just sitting on my structure, but that force is going into my back and into the pad. Alright, so all that tension is being created by my back, not my shoulders. When you have a handoff, and this is why I always say, if you have a handoff, make sure you use it, because that's going to allow you to focus on creating force out and putting force down. And this is absolutely critical for any equipped benchers out there. You want all your force, as you're coming out of the rack, you want to direct all your force down. Alright, there is that component of coming out. The handoff will assist with that, but you want all your force going down into that pad. Okay, so again, I'm just going to focus on scapular retraction. Pretend I received the handoff. They guide me out. I'm just pulling down. That's why oftentimes when someone leaves the rack, you'll often see that bar sink down with them. That's because they are doing a great job of allowing that bar to load into their back and into the pad. All right, they're not trying to push any weight up into that bar. Where you're going to run into trouble on a self unrack, or if someone's handing you off, if you try to do too much of the lifting initially, that bar comes up like this. Now you need to try to settle all that weight back down. It's hard to do once you put that force up. You lose that retraction. Alright, so this is a really key thing that's going to help the heavy weights on the bench press feel really light. Alright, if you nail this down, weights are going to start feeling really light. Alright, so it all comes down again to thinking about force vectors. All your force dragging the bar out of the rack, applying all your force down into the pad. Very critical for a big bench. Coach Ben here. And you know where to find me. you can meet me. Thanks for watching the video. If you want to learn more about how to increase your bench press, consider joining us in our Better Benching Academy. To learn more, simply click the link down below in the description box or visit bigbenchas.com/BB Academy. I'll see you there.